All right, everybody, welcome back. It's been a while since I threw a video up, so I figured I'd take some time and make a video of my latest project I've been working on. This is a 1991 Honda Fourtrax 300 FW. I bought it off of a friend of mine, and I just wanted to kind of do a walk around and an overview of it. This is, like I said, an older machine, but there's a lot of videos out there about people who work on them and problems they encounter. So I'll just sort of go over how I obtained it and what I've done to it so far. So actually, I've known about this quad for a long time. I've ridden this quad for a long time. I got it off of one of my best friends, and this was camp quad. He always had it up at camp, and we'd ride it around, and it was never really a designated trail rig. His kids rode it around in their yards. I believe I'm the third owner. He bought it off of a guy in Ohio. So I've ridden this quad for a number of years, and then over the summer we were chatting, and he said he needed to make room. He just used this to haul trailers around his yard, so he gave me a pretty good deal. I bought this machine for $700, and haven't really put that much into it. I'll sort of go over what I've done. These machines go for more down south. They're very popular down south because they're lightweight, they're four-wheel drive. They pretty much go anywhere. So let's start with the obvious, the looks of it. This machine did not look like this when I got it. It was spray painted black. You can still see these fender flares still have the black paint on them. I just didn't do that. So the first thing I did, the rear rack was also bent on it. So I took that off, took it into work, used the oxygen acetylene torch, heated it up, and bent it back. So it's almost perfectly straight now. It was bent just in this area. It was just a slight bend also. It wasn't too much. Just right in this joint right here. So how did I strip the plastic? 1 can of paint stripper, 1 can of aerosol paint stripper, let it sit for 5 minutes, and pretty much just hose it right off. So you don't want to put it on more than 5 minutes. That was kind of the sweet spot was 5 minutes. So that's the first thing I did. I took care of the plastics, and I took care of the rack. I spray painted the racks black. Maybe down the road I'll get them powder coated, but Ace Hardware black does just fine. Like I said, please keep in mind this was a $700 machine. So, all right, next up, you can also see the tank was painted. I believe this is bed liner. I'd love for it to be blue again, but I'm just gonna leave it black. It's fine. So next up was seat cover. It needed a new seat cover. It came with this padded thing, and it looked pretty ugly, the silver side. So I don't know if I'll keep this or not. I just kind of threw it on there. But this is a brand new seat cover that I put on. Redid that. It was down to the foam, and it was all beat up. So put a new seat cover on, and I'll just leave this on here for protection. So, all right. After that, I threw a new air filter in there. The other one was pretty dry rotted. So moving on to the front end. All right, a couple things. When I got the machine, there was a winch mounted to the front rack, and it was just sort of U-bolted on there. It's not the right way to do it. They don't make a winch mount for this anymore. They used to make one, and if you can find them now, people want $80, $100 for it, and it's really just a pretty much basic plate. So what I did was I got a 1993 plate, and I cut it up, I re-welded it, and I tied it in on the frame there. So this is, I think, a 2,500 pound winch, and I welded it, and there's a big piece of steel that goes across the back frame rails, and then everything is tied in. So this is pretty close to what the original mount looked like for this. So for you guys that are wondering how to mount a winch on a first gen, this is how you do it. Also, then I just bolted the fair lead to the front of it. I think it looks good coming off the front bumper like that. So also there's, let's see here, there's the identification tag, TRX 300 FW 1991. Okay, Moving on, headlights. Here you go. All right, so the headlights. One headlight did not work, and so the housings were pretty rusted. Got on some forums, and everybody uses these 4-inch. These are made for trucks. You can put them in the rear bumper. Use them as backup lights or off-road lights. And there's 2 sizes of these, and even though they're 4-inch, the back side of it, there's a couple sizes. One's like a 3.9 inch, and one is I think 3.1 inch. You want to get the 3.1. They will fit in these holes without bending anything. Now, as far as wiring goes, I just have these wired up to the low beam. So my future plan is to put a light bar on here, mount it to the high beam. But let's see here. Here's your wiring underneath here, and you can still see my blue here. My blue is for my high beam, green is ground, and then white went to the low beam. So for future, all I got to do is cut into the green again and the blue, and that'll give me a high beam light bar if I want it. Okay, change the front diff fluid. Front diff fluid, let's see, I just used this Lucas 80-90 gear oil. The guys on the forum said it was fine. I know it calls for the Hypoid gear oil also, but as long as it is GL5 rated, right there, GL4, GL5 rated, you should be fine. I still have to do the rear diff. I just haven't gotten time to do that. Also, I changed the engine oil, and instead of using the Honda engine oil, I went with the Rotella T6 5W40. You can run 15W40. We live in Pennsylvania, and this machine might see some sub-freezing temperatures, so I went with the 5W40, and I went with just a Napa oil filter. So I still have to do the front, or actually the transfer case, and that's right here. That takes the same oil as the engine, so I still have to do that, but everything is pretty clean in there as it sits, so it's not too bad. Now, as far as winch wiring, the wiring was kind of a rat's nest, so I cleaned up the wiring and everything is tucked in. I did add a battery tender to this as well, but I did mount everything back here. I need to finish cleaning this up, but this actually runs off of a scooter battery. This is a deep cycle 12-volt battery, and there's your control. So if you ever did get stuck, you know, you could pull out this tether, and you know, you could actually hold it up to it, but you could free spool it out, and then it will come out. So it does work, and it goes that way. So. What else? That's pretty much it. These machines are pretty bulletproof. Oh, the stickers. I have access to a vinyl cutting machine. So what I did was I went ahead. Here, let's go ahead and close that garage door. There's some people walking. All right, so what I did was I found the font online, and I was able to use Adobe Illustrator. So there's no more people walking. I used Adobe Illustrator, and I found the font, and to the best that I could, I matched up the original font. So I made the Honda sticker, the 4x4, 300, and then, you know, this machine, a lot of these machines, the blue ones, everybody calls them old blue. They're just old, you know, dead nuts reliable. So I put that one on, and I put one in the front here. I just looked up the original pictures, and this is gray outdoor vinyl. I figured the gray would look good with the blue and the black. So that's pretty much it. Oh, come on over here. This is how, right here, let me grab a flashlight. This is how you adjust your clutches on this machine, okay? So if you don't know how to adjust your clutches on this machine, it's real simple to do. What you do is you take and you got a lock nut right here. And what you do is you take that, sorry about the flashlight. You take that lock nut and you loosen it. And this middle nut in here, you back it off until you feel some resistance. So you go to the left, okay, until you feel slight resistance. Then you go forward a quarter of a turn, and then you lock your lock nut, okay? And that's how much, that adjusts your secondary clutch as far as shifting. So if you're having some hard shifting, that's the easiest way to go ahead and adjust that to get started. So future plans, I'm gonna leave it pretty much like it is. I need to change the fluid in the rear diff, and I need to do the transfer case. I do want to find a used, and they're out there, I do want to find a used Kickstarter cover. It's not a huge issue, but it would be nice just to have the cover with a 300 sticker. So I just got to get on eBay and get one. They make aftermarket, but I'd probably prefer to find a used one that might match the plastics. So, but that's the overview of the machine. And like I said, it's just for you guys that know about these 300s, they're just, they always start, they're reliable in their tanks. And it's been a fun project to work on. Oh, the only other thing that doesn't work that I need to work on is the neutral light. The neutral safety switch does work, but it could just be as easy as a bulb. I just haven't had time to pull it out and check it. But I'm gonna work on that because the switch does work. It won't start unless you're in neutral. So it just might be a bulb. But we'll go ahead, I'll fire it up. We'll just do a walk around of it and open that up. If you guys have any questions, you can comment. Those are pretty bright. They're not adjustable, but we rode around in the snow and it is very bright. Oh, the wheels and tires are takeoffs from a newer machine. They were on it when I got it. Alright, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll try to get some more stuff out there.